Hello everybody and welcome back for episode 36 of the Doll Symposium. As always, I am your host, Shizusan, and my beautiful assistant today is the very lovely Cheryl Gnome. So without further ado, let's just start today's video. Well, alrighty everybody, so it's been a little bit, about, 3 weeks I think, since the last episode of the Doll Symposium, due to Anime NYC and the Thanksgiving holiday here in the United States. But we are back. And surprisingly enough, within 3 weeks, we didn't have as much news as I thought there would be. Unless I've missed something, like for something crazy, but it's a pretty short week. So, that being said, why don't we start today's video? And we are going to just switch frames. And Cheryl's going to go off into her little corner for a second. Okay. So, not really much going on with Volks and Doffy Dream this week. I do want to mention that if you participated in the pre-order project last year, that began for Final Fantasy XIV's Y'shtola from, what's it called? The Doffy Dream line. She is now pretty much done. It's been an entire year since her pre-order, and just as a reminder, Volks has tweeted out that shipping will begin on December 31st of 2022. Now, it's most likely going to be delayed a couple days, I think, depending on where you are living. But essentially what's going to happen is that it's going to be broken down into 3 shipments. If you pre-ordered early, like right when it came up, you'll be in the first shipment. I think the pre-order period was within like 2.5 months, I think it was total, that the time frame was. So if you pre-ordered like in the first half of that, you're in the first shipment. If you pre-ordered sometime in the middle, you're in the second shipment. And if you pre-ordered towards the end, more closer to like around the first week of December, you're most likely going to be in the last shipment. So I don't really expect any of the Y'shtolas to be shipping, at least internationally, until probably in January, to be totally honest. I really doubt it'll be going out on December 31st, but you never know. It might actually go out on December 31st, but you're not going to get it anyways because it still has to be shipped. So like when it ships on December 31st, that's just the day that they get it to the carriers, right? So it's still got to get to you, so you're most likely not going to get it until sometime in January, at least if you're in the very first shipment. I remember I pre-ordered mine the minute it was announced because I was watching the Final Fantasy live when they announced it, so I should be within the first shipment. So I'll probably have an unboxing video sometime in the very beginning of January to start the year of 2023. But we'll have to wait and see. But just in case, because it's been a year and you kind of forgot or whatever, just reminding you guys now, not out, that shipping will begin December 31st. Now, the bigger news. Dolpa 48. So Dolpa 48 is going to happen on December 18th. Now, we talked about this in the last episode, is that during Dolpa you're going to have Arcoid from Tsukihime, and you're going to have Yor from Spy Family. That's going to be released during this event. So good luck to everybody if you are going to be participating in trying to get one during the event. But if you are not, the after event has been announced. So Saturday, January 21st, JST of course, is going to be the Dolpa after event. And it actually specifies here, because usually it doesn't. It just says, this is the after event, this is the date, wait for a special site, right? Well, the special site is still under preparation, but the cool thing is they actually tell us right here in this section here what's going to be available for the after event sales. And they tell us it's going to be the new dresses and items for winter 2022, which has a bunch of really cool stuff. But also it does specify Doffy Dream Dynamite, your Folger, Folger is coffee, your Forger, and yours plain clothes outfit, as far as Doffy Dream Arcoid Brunstead and her princess set also will be available during the Dolpa Alpha. I can't speak. I always have trouble speaking. Like, I don't know why, especially when I have like a break between videos or something. They will be available during the Dolpa after event, Dolpa 48, on January 21st of 2023. So just do be prepared for that. If you weren't able to participate at the actual event or have a proxy to go for you for the actual event, this will be your time to shine. For Volks USA, I'm assuming their after event will be either the same week or a week or two afterwards. The reason why I don't know is because Volks USA did not announce their after event date as of yet. So we're going to have to wait for more news from Volks USA on that. And that's pretty much everything for Dolphy Dream news for that happened within the last 3 weeks. It's most likely because they're preparing for Dolpa 48, so they're not really announcing or releasing anything because they're busy with that. That's my assumption. So next up, Azone International. So Azone International released a couple new dolls. Most of them are in the much smaller, tinier scale. I don't usually cover those too much unless one of them is like really interesting to me. But if you do like to collect the smaller dolls, definitely check out the Azone International site. But the one really cool one, which came out as a shocker, time frame wise, which I'll go into, are these two lovely ladies. This is Reno, and this is going to be, or I don't know, how do I pronounce it? It's Rino. So Reno, because if I say it in Japanese, what is it? It's like Reno. So I think it's like Reno, right? I could be saying that totally wrong. This is all self-taught, okay? So I could be pronouncing this really, really bad. But anyways, Reno is going to be released in 2 different versions. This is the Narcisse Noir Iris Collect Reno Winter Holiday Special. So my Azone doll, Kano, which was released last year, was last year's Narcisse Noir Iris Collect Winter Edition, and now Reno is the new one. I don't know why I'm rolling my tongue for the R. It should be Reno. But she is this year's Winter Collect. And the one thing I say is a little saddening is that she was announced very, very recently, like December 5th, I think it was, on Twitter. Like I saw the post for it, and then all of a sudden, you know, her reservation period started on December 7th, and it is already closed. It already sold out for both versions of Reno. So Reno has the red Amaryllis version and then the blue Delphium version. And that's obviously displayed by the red and the blue versions. Different hair, different color hair, different color outfits, and different color eyes. The store direct one is, I think, the red one, if I'm not mistaken, and then the blue one is the regular one. I could be wrong. Now, if they are the same, because they're both winter editions, just like Kano, they may both also have the special edition eyes with the snowflakes in it, but that's just me guesstimating. I really, really don't know. I'm just hoping, because that was really cool. But yeah, both these ladies were released. Now, the bad thing is because they sold out already on the Azone International website for Japanese buyers, and then they, I'm assuming, sold out as well at the in-store reservation periods. You go to your normal places like AmiAmi, already the pre-orders are closed. They opened the 7th and they're already closed. Like, she is super popular. Way more popular than Kano, apparently, because Kano, at least the regular version, was still available. The store direct version sold out really fast. But Reno is all gone already in most Azone International website and stores. And then on AmiAmi, it's already gone. I haven't checked Hobby Link Japan or 1999. You may want to check those areas to see if they still have them. But if you do live in the United States, Fabric and Friends still have them up for pre-order. So if you want any of these ladies, both of them are up for pre-order on Fabric and Friends. Contact Iris as soon as you can, as soon as you see this video, if you really want one of these ladies or both of these ladies, because she still has the pre-orders available on her end. The other thing I wanted to mention is that Fabric and Friends actually has my version of Kano, which was really hard to get, but they got, I guess they had extras or something, or Azone has extras and sent them out to their affiliate stores, because they have the Kano store direct winter version, which is the harder version to get, actually available to buy right now on their website. So do check out Fabric and Friends if you want either 3 of these girls as pre-orders and regular stock is available as of the filming of this video and the posting of this video, I guess, because it'll be posted somewhat after I film this, relatively soon. And yeah, so details. Okay, details on these ladies. The base price is going to be 59,000 yen. With tax and everything, it's 64,900 yen. You're still looking at around maybe $500 or just less than $500 US. If you get it from Iris at Fabric of Friends, I believe her price on there is $585. And if you live in the US, I think the shipping is not too bad or free. I don't really know. Don't quote me on that. I'm trying to remember what shipping was from Fabric and Friends. But definitely, it'll probably be cheaper than shipping from Japan if you order it from one of the regular sites from Japan. So do take that into account. Now, we talked about the reservations. Oh, so the delivery time. So the reservations are already closed directly from Azone, but the delivery time is slated for December 23. So it is possible that if you were able to reserve from the international sites or Azone themselves, if it ships on the 23rd, it may get to you before the end of the year. But if not, I mean, still, that's a really quick turnaround time. That's like within less a month. So I believe the same thing is if you do it for Fabric and Friends. Whenever they get their shipment from the 23rd, then they'll ship it out to you. So yours will probably take a little bit longer because it has to go to the store first before it is actually shipped directly to you. But if you want any of these lovely ladies, definitely check out Fabric and Friends. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. It's just these dolls can be pretty difficult to find, especially if they're this popular. And the fact that Fabric and Friends still have them available, check it out. They will be released on the AZO2 body, same body as Kano, with the G bust. And they call it Super. I don't know why. Maybe because it's bigger or something, but I mean, Kano had the G bust as well, which is a little bit of a bigger bust, but I don't know why they added the Super at the end. Maybe somebody that is more familiar with Azone can put it down in the comment section down below. But that's really everything for Azone International News. Like I said, they did have other dolls that were released. There was one Pico Nemo, which is like the really, really tiny doll, and another one was some kind of like a la mode doll, which, like I said, it didn't really interest me. But if you want to check it out, check out Azone International for that. I really like the bigger girls. I like talking about them the most. Unless there's a smaller doll that has like something really cute or really cool looking that I wanted to share. But yeah, Reno. Definitely check it out. That brings us to Smart Doll News for the week. And Smart Doll News is also, fairly small this week. Danny's been very busy with a lot of things. So let's just get to it. Chitose Realityverse released. She was released in Cinnamon and Tea. I believe Tea is all gone, and Cinnamon is the only one that's left right now. I don't think she was released in Coco as of yet. I don't remember seeing a post on that. But Cinnamon and Tea definitely. Tea, this is gone for now, at least. Maybe. We'll see. But Cinnamon is still available on the website if you do want them. And remember, these are option heads. So Danny Chu did say, depending on how sales go, they may actually get a full body release. Now, also another thing that he posted is that he's not entirely sure if he's going to make more versions of Realityverse in option heads after they sell out. So he said that the first time around, and Cinnamon and Tea sold out pretty much instantly. And then we got another announcement recently that Cinnamon is back in stock. So Realityverse must be doing pretty well that it came back in stock. And hopefully people keep buying them so that she gets a full body release version. I'm really hoping for a Tea version. I actually didn't purchase Realityverse, and it's not because she doesn't look cute or anything. It's just I'm really trying to save money. I'm trying to really be as nitpicky as I can on what I buy from here on out, because like I've been saying in many videos, I really want to go back to Japan. So I'm trying to save that money and trying to be as frugal as I can so I could save up and go back to Japan. So yeah, but hopefully if it's popular enough, we will get full body releases of Cinnamon and Tea Chitose Realityverse in the future. Next, Never Say Never in Tea. So Never Say Never in Tea has been released, and she is currently available as of the filming of this video on the option head section on the Smart Doll website. Check it out if you're interested in her. Another cutie I have to pass up on, especially with that little beauty mark under her eye. If you haven't watched the Beyond the Doll episode where I actually kind of talked about the beauty mark thing, it was a hard decision to pass up on her, but I kind of have to. Again, I'm trying my best to be frugal and save money so I can go back to Japan. But she was released and in an option head, and it's still available on the Smart Doll website as of the filming of this video. Now, here's the interesting thing. So we're going to talk about the Evolve frame. So we've already talked about it in many different episodes, little tidbits here and there, different pictures that we got, little explanations that Danny Chu has told us about it. And this new recent posting, he has told us something really interesting, and I want to read it verbatim for you guys, where he said, "The next 3 months will be dedicated to establishing the optimal injection molding variables through continued tests. During this time, we are also training the team on Evolve assembly. The most time-consuming aspect is ensuring a balance of grease used for the haptic feedback, grid/gears, and torque setting. I will make an introduction video to Evolve soon to set the usual expectations, and soon after, some may make it out into the wild before the official release in early Q2. You may start seeing Evolve bodies assembled for test purposes in the timeline section on the Smart Doll website store." So there is a lot to take from this. So it seems like Evolve is done, planning wise. Like, the schematics are drawn up. It sounds like the molds are done, and all they're really doing right now is testing the molds to make sure that that they come out consistently the same and that they're ready to go to make the parts. And then they're also training staff on putting together the parts and ensuring it has the right grease for the gears and the torque settings. So one thing I can say is that that's probably going to be a big deal. That's why they're training on it, because if you've seen his posts on his website, on the Smart Doll website, in the timeline section, you can definitely see the inside of the gears. I should have posted a picture for it. I just don't have one right now. You can definitely see the gears inside the ball joint parts for the haptic system. And, they're basically, as described, they're gears. So they have teeth, right? And the teeth keep it in place, like interlocking in place. And as they move, they kind of move like, past one another. And the grease helps it move past one another without breaking. And depending on how much grease they put in there from the get-go, more, maybe too much grease will spill out. Less, the plastic will start probably rubbing up against each other too much, where it could either break or it may, rub away. And start like grinding down where the teeth kind of get like more shallow and not as sharp. So there's a lot of things that can go onto this, and obviously there's no way to know how well this will turn out, except for just giving it time. Like, you would have to create one and play test it for like a long time, and let's say play testing was 3 months worth of time of moving the doll parts like every single day for X amount of times during the day. Like, we really just don't know how wear and tear will be with those gears. Will it be if you play with it? How like sometimes you buy products and it says, oh, it's good for like 1,000 like button pushes or something like that, right? So what if you move the teeth on the arm or the leg joint 1,000 times within X amount of, I don't know, just say 1,000 times total, and maybe at 1,000 that's the limit where the gears start grinding down and they wear out to the point where it doesn't hold anymore and just kind of slides freely in place. It's not to say that the gear system is a bad system. The same thing could be said for the original dolls that we have now. Like, all of them are just pressure fitted right now with some grease in between. And if you move them, so X amount of times, eventually you start to get loose. and it'll start to wear. I mean, that's just the nature of plastic. Like, you know, even metal wears. Like, you have to change sometimes if you do things wrong when you change gears in a car, your metal will wear on the gears and you have to change your transmission. So same thing. I mean, you know, doesn't matter if it's metal or plastic, whatever. I mean, there will be wear and tear. It's just how long will it hold up? And knowing Danny and how meticulous it is, I'm pretty sure it'll hold up for a very long time, because smart dolls in general, at least, let's just say mine personally, let's not say in general, my personal smart dolls still have stiffness in all the joints. I don't have any smart dolls that are loose in any of the joints, but I also do not play with my smart dolls the same way as other owners might. Like, I don't pose them as much, I don't take them out as much unless I'm going to a convention or photo shoot. So, you know, their joints, my doll's joints might be tighter just because I don't move them around as much. But if you're the type of individual that goes out every day and, you know, does photography and poses them in different ways every day, or you just like playing with your dolls every day, you know, like doing dioramas or stop motion or something, you never know. Like, the continued use of the joints and the wear and tear is just something that will eventually happen. Like, no product is invincible to that. So I'm really excited for this haptic feedback. It sounds so cool. I cannot wait till this comes out because it looks really awesome. And I'm really super excited for the spine, because if you're new to the hobby, maybe you're not too familiar, but if you've been in the smart doll hobby for a while, if you move around that torso a lot for different poses, you'll notice that when you take off the bust to readjust and you look inside, you're gonna see that your spine is not straight. It's all like crooked and like kind of pushed in, you know, and then it's from all that movement, so you gotta have to straighten it out and everything. So seeing how the way it looks in this picture here, you could see it's more straight. It has more solid sections to be straight than as many ball joints as it used to, which you would think, oh, well, maybe it doesn't have as much movability or posability as it used to. And that may be the case. I haven't touched one yet. I haven't played with one yet. But knowing Danny, he is not going to sacrifice, you know, posability, because that's one of the things that, you know, he was a staple on making the new frames compared to like things like Dolphy Dream and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure you'll still have the same range of movement. It's just a different design and probably more efficient because it's not multiple ball joints. Now you have something a little bit more solid to keep it from like getting crooked on the inside of the torso. But that is all my theories. I don't know any of this for sure. It's not like Danny Chu tells me any of this stuff specifically. This is all theory crafting, okay? So don't take this as gospel, okay? Now, the other thing that was really cool that I read at the end is he's saying that expectations is that some make it out into the wild before its official release early in Q2. So Q2, if I'm not mistaken, begins in April. I could be wrong, but I believe Q2 begins in April. So it's possible we can get them as early as April. I'm assuming that it will probably be more so towards May or June. If you ask me, I think it'll most likely be sometime during then. And early release. Some might make it into the wild, which makes me think we are going to have a Only the Brave. So be prepared for that. There's a possibility that Pebbles and Only the Brave might become available at some point in the future. If not, then maybe what it means is that Prototype Garage. There might be some available at some point in the future at the Prototype Garage, or there could be a prototype doll with an Evolve frame in it in the Prototype Garage. So a lot of these things could possibly happen. It really just depends. It could be a Pebble, it could be Prototype Garage. We don't know. But it is pretty intriguing to know that some will make it into the wild. We'll just have to wait and see how. But yeah, Q2, I think it's late Q2 if I were to estimate, more so than early Q2. Just because there's going to be a lot of planning and research and you know, they're still working out the variables in the mold, so who knows. But I will be ecstatic if it's early Q2. I will be absolutely ecstatic if that's the case. Now, moving on from the Evolve system. we have a couple prototypes that wow, I totally messed up your name, man. Sorry. Danny Chu posted in his timeline. So I've said it many times. I'm not good at recognizing heads, but this looks like the G07 sculpt, which is Chitose Realityverse sculpt, and as well as Fortitude Semi-Real, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I'm not good at this stuff. But I believe these are G07 heads. Somebody please correct me in the comment section down below if I'm wrong on that. But these are some prototypes that he posted. Who knows? These might be coming out in the future, or they might be future prototype garage girls. So this one looks really cool. I like the eyes with the sky blue eye makeup in this one. I really like that. Moving on to the next one. This one also has the sky blue eyes, but it has a darker navy makeup in the eyes, which I actually like this one better, is the darker navy one. But she definitely is a cutie. And then this one with the freckles. So this one has the freckles on there with the gray smoky eye makeup. So I'm not really sure if I like the gray smoky eye makeup with the orange eyes. It's not really my personal taste. I think I would have liked this more with like either like a turquoise eyes or just gray on gray, like gray eyes. But then again, that's just my personal preference. I'm sure there's probably a lot of you out there that are perfectly content with the gray eye makeup with the orange eyes. So take it for what you will, but that's just my take on things. But all three of these girls were listed on the timeline, and it's possible you could see any of these girls in the prototype garage in the future. Now, one more prototype. This girl. So this girl has this big happy smiley kind of face, which is very interesting, and I can't tell what sculpt this is. Like, I wanted to say it's the same sculpt that's used on Curiosity, but I think Curiosity's eyes is probably a little bit bigger, so I'm not entirely sure what sculpt this is. But the makeup and the eye shape and the eye color is really cool. The smile, I think, maybe a little bit off. It's like a little too much smiley, but that's just me. Again, that's just my personal opinion. Somebody out there, or a couple of you out there, might actually think this is a really, really cute girl. And it's not that she's not cute. It just doesn't fit my personal aesthetic. But it is also possible you may see this girl in the future in the prototype garage, or even a release. None of these girls have names, and none of them have information, as that's usually how he does it with his timeline. It's just random pictures with no explanations. Now, moving on. This one I'm super excited for. So this is cool. I want this. Danny hasn't released wigs for individual sale, so this is most likely going to be either in a Chaos wig bundle, or it will be for a new and upcoming doll that's coming out in the future. But I am a huge, huge fan of the lavender long wig that came out with the Chitose Multiverse. I really love that wig. It's like one of my most favorite wigs. I love the color. And now there's going to be a short hair version of it. I would love, Danny, if you're watching this, I would love a shoulder length version of that. That would be so cool. But I also really love the short bob version. I can't wait for this to be released. I really hope at some point Danny starts selling wigs separately again, but we don't know. We honestly don't know what he's going to do. It's more than likely going to be part of a new doll coming out, or part of the Chaos wig bundle. But this is a super cool wig. I really like it. And that's just my personal bias because I like lavender. It's just me. I know a lot of people out there like lavender, but I'm just saying I really like this one because of that. Now, this other picture that he actually posted this one on his Twitter account saying whether or not you guys like the new orange. So he bought a huge roll of orange Smart Doll elastic bands for the bra and panty sets. And I think it's cool. I think every version that he has released of this bra and panty set is really cool. I wish I could have every version of the bra and panty set, because he had the version with the white tag, the black tags, and now we have the orange tags. Did he? For some reason, I feel like he had a purple tag. Was there a purple tag? Somebody put it in the comment section down below. Was there a purple elastic band? I want to say yes, but I can't really remember off the top of my head, but the orange looks cool. I'm digging it. I'm definitely digging it. Next up, so Danny put these prototypes on here. I love the skirt. The skirt looks so cool, especially this. I like this green one with the taupe or beige top. I think it looks really, really awesome. He did post another picture of the schematics, like the design schematics of this, and seeing the actual version or the actual prototype versions, really, really cool. I don't know though if they're going to be sold as a set. It could be a top and bottom set, or they could be separate pieces. Really don't know, but they look really nice. I do like these. More so, I like the skirt more than the top. Nothing wrong with the top, but it just looks like a standard issue top, which I can definitely use for some of my girls. But I'm really excited for the skirt part, like this long skirt thing. I think it's super cool. Next up, prototype of the gray smart doll that's going to be coming out as the next fantasy color release. I think it's called Galaxy Gray or Galactic Gray. So you can see here the frame parts are in the same color gray, and the gray torso piece, really, really nice. We've seen a lot of prototypes of the gray heads that's come out, and a couple other body parts, so it's not really a surprise to see this. I just like seeing it all together like this. It's pretty cool seeing all the pieces laid out, and the torso piece. Very nice. This is definitely the older version. I don't think this is the haptic frame that you see here in the gray though. Nonetheless, looks really cool. Okay, and then this one here, let me get a drink of water real quick, guys. Okay, so this here, if I'm not mistaken, this looks like a new shin, like a shin joint. So we did have the prosthetic shin joints that came out a while ago in silver and in black. I think the silver one, if I'm not mistaken, and it looks really super cool. But now, because he did the biomechanical boots, he now has like this cyberpunk biomechanical shin joint. Do we have an ETA? No. Is it a prototype? I don't think so, because if you can look in this picture, that's a lot of parts. So it looks like they're going to be sold at some point in the future. Relatively soon, because there's a bunch of pieces here. It looks like they just gotta cut out the flash parts, so we'll just have to wait and see. But definitely like really cool. If you love the biomechanical boots and you love like the whole cyberpunk look, definitely look forward to this. Now, another thing that Danny Chu posted that I just personally love and I wanted to share was this picture here of the new Gundam Witch of Mercury. I am loving this show. I'm just a big Gundam fan in general, but this show is actually really, really cool. And the reason why I think it's awesome that he's watching it is because he does have a deal with Bandai Namco. And I've been hinting to him and you know, sending him messages here and there, be like, hey, it would be awesome if you do a Gundam collaboration. And it's entirely possible. It's entirely possible because he does have licenses to Bandai Namco. So it's possible that something could be in the works, and maybe that's why he's watching The Witcher Mercury. Because maybe we're going to get a Suletta Mercury doll. Maybe? Suletta Mercury? Maybe? That wouldn't be my choice, though, for if you were to say Bandai Namco license collaboration. Suletta is the new main character of the show of The Witcher Mercury, and she is definitely a cute girl, but not really my taste that I would like in a doll. I think a lot of people would love to see a Suletta Mercury doll. Me personally, and I know I'm probably going to get a lot of flack about this, but I would love to see a Lacus Clyne doll. I'm a huge fan of Gundam Seed, and dare I say Gundam Seed Destiny. I know there's a lot of people in the anime fandom out there that just trash Gundam Seed so much, especially Gundam Seed Destiny, but I'm one of the few people that really love this show. So I would love to see a Lacus Clyne doll. I would love to see a Gigi Andalusia doll from the new Hathaway Flash. Or even from the original Gundam series, like maybe someone like what's her face? Char's sister, Sil something. I can't even remember her name anymore. That's so bad. But anyways, I mean, you have Relena from Gundam Wing. I mean, there's so many characters that you could choose from with a Bandai Namco Smart Doll collaboration. But I personally would love to see a Lacus Klein. But if he is watching The Witch of Mercury, we could get a Soletta Mercury, or we could get the her bride. I don't want to spoil too much, but it could be the bride. We could get that character. I forgot the actual name. That's why I keep calling her the bride. But maybe that could be another character that could be an anime collaboration. Who knows? Who knows? It's just I'm a big Gundam fan. I love Gundams, and it's just awesome to see that he's actually watching some of the Gundam, because you never know. Could be a release. He has said it himself. He likes making dolls that suit what he likes and his interests, whether that's an original character doll or any of the anime collaboration dolls that he's done in the past. Like, it's usually things that he personally likes. So if he's watching The Witch of Mercury and he really likes the show, who knows? There could be a Smart Doll collaboration in the future. I don't know. I'm just guessing. All this is speculation. Just guessing. But it would be cool. It would definitely be cool. And then lastly, this is the last picture that we have on the slideshow, which I really want to share because I thought it was so cool. So Danny Chu, as you know, when you buy a Smart Doll, especially if you're a new owner, he sends you an email saying, are you sure this is the expectations? Are you sure that you want to go forward with this? Blah, blah, blah. Please confirm your email. Please confirm your address, etc., etc., just to make sure that you're really satisfied with buying things as a new person in the hobby. Also, it's like a way that he can get around from bots, because bots can't really answer those things, as far as I know. I could be wrong. I'm not an internet expert on this, but it's possible. But yeah, he shared with us quite a few. I believe there was like maybe 10 pictures or 12 pictures of emails he's received from customers stating how they are so excited for their very first Smart Doll purchase for their child. Whether the child is really young, like 5, 6 years old, to a little bit older, 10, 12, 13 kind of age. And I think it's really cool. I remember when I first met Danny Chu, I was just like, what's your mark? I asked him, like, who are you making these dolls for? And obviously, he said, I make them because I like them. I make them for myself. And it just so happens that I sell them as well. But I remember him saying that he was trying to spread the Smart Doll love, especially to children. Like, it's a big part of his market that he wants to advertise to, and I think it's super cool that he shared this with us. If you have time, go to his Instagram page, read every email that he posted on the Instagram, because it's very touching stories of all these parents buying their young children Smart Dolls, because as any parent would know, purchasing something that's $500 or more for a 5-year-old child is a big step up in purchases. That's a lot of money, for a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 10-year-old child, especially when at that age, they may or may not have the same understanding of how to properly maintain these dolls. But it's so cool seeing these emails, because that's one of the things that they mention in almost every email that he shared with us, was that, the kids have been doing their research, reading Danny Chu's websites, watching YouTube videos. Who knows? They could be watching mine. They could be watching, Magical Kit Kat Girls, My Lady Disdains, Diana the Doll Fairy, Lovely Day, like all these other YouTubers out there that have all this content about Smart Doll or any other dolls. Is just so awesome to see. And I say in every chance I get, it's just so awesome to see how much this hobby has grown, how many content creators are out there. You have the pick of the litter. If you want Smart Doll content, if you want Dolphy Dream content, you have the pick of the litter of people out there doing reviews, doing product analysis, doing news, all this stuff. Like, I've said it so many times before, when I started, it was slim pickings. There was not much places to find this information, to find as much reviews of these dolls, of this hobby. And it's just so cool seeing it grow. And I've had people tell me, well, if it's growing, won't that ruin your chances for your YouTube channel, like if they go other places? And honestly, I don't care. As like, I just the only thing I care about is just seeing this hobby grow, seeing this doll family of mine grow, and meeting more people that's getting into this hobby. If you want to watch my videos, great. If you found somebody else that suits your purposes or your needs, that's awesome too, as long as this hobby grows. That's all I hope for this hobby. I just want it to keep growing. I want my doll family to get bigger. It's just super cool to see all that, and to read these emails from Smart Doll, so cool. So cool. And big shout out to the parents buying being a parent myself, pulling the trigger on $500 for my personal kids at that age. Like, my daughter's old enough to know how to properly treat the dolls, so that's fine if purchasing one for her if the situation arose. She's not really into it as far as I can tell right now, but like someone like my son at 5 or my daughter at the age of 5, they weren't really respectful of dolls at their age. Like, my daughter had dolls back then, and it's all about parenting style, right? Like, if you prepare your kids and you teach them the right way, obviously things will go well. I didn't do that with my kids, so it's kind of half on me, but it's just really cool seeing the parents taking the dive on purchasing something like that. Because I know when I was growing up, there's no way my mom or my dad would have bought me like a $500. Well, at that time, they didn't have things like this when I was growing up, at least to this level of detail or anything. They wouldn't have purchased a $500 anything for me back then. and even taking inflation and the cost of living out of the equation, they just wouldn't spend that much on something for me. So big shout out to these parents that are taking the plunge and buying something like a Smart Doll or any kind of doll at this price range for their kids, because not only is it big ups for them for just buying something really awesome for their children, and knowing that their children are responsible enough and having the faith to work with them to maintain the dolls is super cool. And as a child receiving a Smart Doll, they are probably over the moon excited. So congratulations to all you new Smart Doll owners, especially you kids out there that got one for Christmas this year or is gonna get one for Christmas this year. I know all of you are super excited to get your first Smart Doll, and this is just one of those things that's just Smart Doll brings to the table that's just so awesome. It's not that other families or other kids don't buy Azone or Dolphy Dream dolls or whatever. It's just Smart Doll takes a big pride in trying to advertise to children and being family friendly and being really, really open with its customers about the company and what they're doing, and sharing prototypes and statuses of things. We don't get that from many companies. So it's just really nice to have all this exposure and all these things from Smart Doll. Thank you, Danny Chu. It's a big up, and it's part of the reason why your dolls are so popular, not just because they're beautiful, not just because they're awesome, is because the way you manage your company and the way you are so open to share details with the community. So it's really, really cool. So I know I talked a long time on this, but it's just really, really awesome to see this this post. And again, congratulations to first-time doll owners, especially you children out there getting them this Christmas. I know you guys are going to be over the moon for your very first Smart Doll. So very cool. And then that really wraps up everything for the news this week. So we don't have any participants in the community shout out for this week's episode. So if you do want to participate though in the community shout out, send me an email right here, or wait, here. to dlwshizusan@gmail.com. If you want to participate in the community shout out, do send in one photo or multiple photos of your dolls that you want to share, as well as a message if you want to give out a message. You don't have to, but if you want to give out a message that you want me to read to the community out loud on the video, make sure you put it there as well. Make sure that the photos of your dolls are family friendly or artistically styled, nothing way too lewd. I'll just ask you to send me something else. And also specify in your email what the base model doll is, in case you have a modified or customized doll. I'd love to know what you started out with. And lastly, if there is any important information that you do not want me to share on open public to to the world on this YouTube channel, make sure you specify in your email what information is okay for me to share and what is private that you don't want me to share, because I God forbid, I don't want to accidentally release your personal info that you did not want released. So make sure you specify that in your email, please. Thank you. And that's really everything. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have much. A public service announcement or whatever, just little message. Next week's episode of Beyond the Doll will be the last episode of Beyond the Doll for this year. I will be taking a break for the holidays, for the Christmas week and the New Year's week. So that's just, I just need a break just to spend time with the family, have some good family time, and to just relax. You may get a solo pre-recorded video sometime in between, so you might have some content to watch from my channel at that point, but there will be no lives, there will be no news. And also, next week's episode is the last week. It'll be a special edition of Beyond the Doll. It'll be a special Christmas edition. I say Christmas edition because it's the last episode before Christmas. We may talk about maybe some Christmas themed stuff, but that's not really the topic at hand. Get hyped because it'll be the long-awaited Waifus and Husbandos episode. So we will be chatting a little bit about dolls, but really it's just going to be chatting about waifus and husbandos. I've been wanting to do this episode for a while, and I think it's going to be a really fun topic just to talk about for the last episode of the year, just to have a nice fun topic to get away from our very somewhat serious doll topics for the previous 14 episodes. So having something fun like this will be pretty cool, and it'll give you kind of like an outlook on my personal tastes and what I would look for in a doll, maybe for waifus and husbandos, as well as my guests. We will be having multiple guests on, so there will be 4 of us total, so 3 special guests. So do stay tuned for next week's episode of Beyond the Doll. I believe it's episode, what are we on? 15? Episode 15 of Beyond the Doll, Waifus and Husbandos. So we will see you next week for that as well. And am I missing anything? No, I think that's everything for this week. So I'm going to bring out my trusty little helper here. She's going to fall. All right. So that's it. That's everything for episode 36 of the Doll Symposium. As always, I am your host, Shizusan, and my beautiful assistant today is the very lovely Cheryl Gnome. So remember to please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video. To get by.